Thank you very much, Antoine, for this warm welcome. Thank you very much, my friends, and thanks to the French-American Chamber of Commerce and the Foundation for your kind invitation. This conference provides a new opportunity to talk together about three major global challenges the world and the US have been facing. First, the economic growth, and we're going to talk about this. Energy, second, the energy, and third, climate change. The choice made to address these three themes together is a sign of a new paradigm. Energy lies at the heart of the appalling challenges the world has to deal with. Speaking about energy means speaking about strengthening competitiveness and creating jobs, our ecological imprint on Earth, and the independence and security, therefore preserving leadership and capacity of action around the world. So making decisions when it is about energy implies making decisions for decades, and while we are negotiating on the future of our planet, our current decisions already shape the future. So it's very important to make the right decision now. So let's talk now of who I am and who are we, AREVA. As you said, Antoine, I'm a French engineer. I was a banker for 1 year in France. But I came to the US basically 15 years ago to start an environmental consulting company. And I achieved the American dreams. Here everything is possible. You can start alone and build something up and sell it. I was very lucky. I started in New Jersey, so you noticed that I got a slight New Jersey accent. Nobody's perfect. I became an American citizen 5 years ago, so my wife and I and my 3 children, we have 10 passports, which is very convenient. I have the honor now, since September, when I came back from Paris, to head AREVA in the US. First, what about AREVA? AREVA is an international company. We have 75,000 employees around the world. And our core business is very, very simple. It's carbon-free energy solution. And here, what you see here on the graph, it's how we present ourselves to the world. We are the only one to be totally integrated, meaning that you can see here that we produce energy solution, specifically nuclear energy solution from cradle to grave. And I would like to say cradle to cradle. Because we have mining, you can read here, enrichment services, we manufacture fuel, we build nuclear plants. We have built 100 nuclear plants around the world, and we service all of them. And we recycle fuel. Yes, and we'll talk about it. Nuclear energy is recyclable. The orange branch that you see behind me, it's a transmission and distribution. We have acquired this branch from Alstom 5 years ago, and it's extremely interesting for us. And you can see also that we are present in renewable energy. So today we are the only one to propose a complete integrated offer, including technological solutions for power generation and transmission and distribution of electricity. Some people say we are French. Yes, this is true. The headquarters are in Paris. But it doesn't mean we are French. And I would be very curious to know what the definition of an American company is. Because here in America, we are #1 of nuclear energy products and services. We have 6,000 employees here, 45 locations across the country. We export from the US 12% of our turnover. And we are planning major investment in the country here in the United States. We are planning in Idaho an investment of $2.5 billion in an enrichment plant. And we are planning, and we are going to announce it actually, the groundbreaking ceremony is on July 22nd. In Newport News, Virginia, a heavy components facility, a facility that manufactures heavy components, heavy nuclear components for AREVA reactors. We are, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are creating jobs. I know it's funny right now, but yes, we are offering this year 700 new jobs in America. But let's come back to the theme that we have chosen this evening. Economic growth, climate, energy for a new and sustainable deal. Let's face reality. We live in a totally new world. I would even say in the real world. Happy-go-lucky attitude is over. We have to turn to realism. Let's look first at the economic growth. It's a fact. The population is growing. I mean, we are 6 billion today. We will be 9 billion in 2050. And you need to know that energy is very important here because 2.5 billion people have less than $2 a day. 1.3 billion people do not have access to water. 2 billion don't have access to electricity. So these people, I mean, don't have access to water, so they cannot live. And if you don't have access to electricity, you don't have access to cold. So you don't have access to medicine. And on the same time, you can see on the graph here, I mean, we are going to experience, I mean, despite this crisis right now, a very big economic growth. I mean, actually, if you look in the last 50 years, I mean, the world GDP has been multiplied by 6. World exchanges by 17. Air transport tripled in 25 years. So just to give you an example, if we shift the development of countries' profile to low poverty, it will mean that energy demand will have to double by 2050. If we shift the development countries to developed, it will mean that we will have to triple the demand of energy. So let's look at energy now. And here, you can see, I mean, the clock is ticking, I mean, 70, 80, I mean, I'm talking about oil, the oil price. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the oil price will go up because we are now at what we call the peak oil. That means that it's proven that at this point, I mean, we will have actually the same amount of, we can't grow actually the supply. And you can see, I mean, the orange graph here, it's the demand coming from emerging markets, China and India. And I'm sure you travel a lot here. I mean, if you've been to China and India, you know what I mean. I mean, in China, it's incredible. I mean, when you go, every time you go to Shanghai, I mean, you see 10 new buildings. And let's look at the reserve. I mean, oil, 40 years of reserve, and gas, 60 years of reserve. So we have right now limited fossil resources. But last item, and this is an important graph I like to show actually to my daughter. She's 10 years old, and I went to her class, and can you show the next slide, please? It's about climate change. What you're going to see here, it's a photograph of the ice cap. I think it's the middle of June. One was taken, actually reconstructed, around 1975, and the other one that you're going to see now is taken now. You see that the ice cap is now half of what it was 30 years ago. So yes, we are facing a crisis. I mean, nobody wanted to believe about it about 10 years ago, but it's now a consensus that temperature will increase around 1.4 to 6 degrees Celsius by 2010. So maybe for us or for me, I mean, it's not for my parents, it's not very important because we're not going to see any changes. But I can guarantee you, to my children, my 10 years old, it's very, very telling, this picture. Because my kids ask me, I mean, are we going to see some island disappear? Maybe yes. So our kids, our grandkids are going to see major changes. And we need to act now. This is what Al Gore is starting to tell us through a very good, this very good movie, An Inconvenient Truth. So in this new world, we cannot anymore afford to be old-fashioned and ideological. There is no room anymore for routine, for business as usual. We need to be creative. We need to be open-minded. We need to be imaginative. And creative means